I'm excited to share with you a special guest for today's Always Moving podcast. Her name is Stefani. She is the owner of Peach House Fitness here in Bordentown, New Jersey. And it's a special one because she's definitely going to share her knowledge, her journey, and her challenges, and how she keeps on impacting not only the community, but in a bigger scale. So Stefani, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Absolutely. Now, before we get started, I have a quick question for you. How often do you say the words, "I don't have time"? That is one of the biggest reasons why our goals are not achieved yet. It is so common that we don't realize that it's actually an excuse. The real reason why you say, "I don't have time," is because you don't actually know where your free time is at. Don't worry, I'm here to help. I got you. Click the link below and you'll be able to set up a call with me, and I can show you how easy it is to find your free time. Let go of feeling anxious with your time and start becoming a more productive person. Now, let's get started with that interview. What I always like to start off first is asking, what are your intentions behind this podcast?
I think my intentions behind this podcast really is to introduce myself to a bigger public, because I think there's such an empowering stance behind our brand, and I think it hasn't yet really reached as many people as I would like to. So I'm appreciative that you're doing this for me.
Absolutely. So, Peach House Fitness. This is your trademark. Like, you are a peach grower, right? So to speak.
Yeah.
How did this come about? Like, did this hustle started from little? Is it something recent? Tell me about that.
So really this hustle started just as a personal journey. I was working out, I want to say about 6 years ago. I really decided to take on my own fitness journey with getting a trainer myself. And slowly as that, I started getting people that were, really asking for my advice and, asking, how did you do it? Because I became a mom at 18, and my life was so fast paced. I was really focusing on work and my daughter, and then I didn't realize that I wasn't, really paying attention to my own health. So it really became more of like my own personal fitness journey, but it branched out as a hobby to become my career. I started with, a local gym in this area, and Peach House really came off of a class that I started with that gym, and it became a trademark. The peach emoji really just became a trademark for me, and at the beginning it was like, okay, what do I call my brand? When I really decided to move forward with being on my own, I was like, what do I call this? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with what has trademarked my brand the whole time. And when I first started, we built a gym inside of my mother's house, which was a garage apart from the house. But I was like, it's in a house, let's call it Peach House Fitness. And I think that it just had a touch to it that was very unique and catchy, and it stuck, and I love it. I think that it really sets us apart because it's just so unique,
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. How you collaborated not only the environment, but that emoji of what you actually enjoy training for yourself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And this seed of persistence, because you said 6 years ago, was that self-taught, or did you learn that from family or friends, or how did that aid you to get to where you are right now?
So I come from a family of entrepreneurs themselves. Most of my family are women, so I think that's where that seed comes from. Just watching family so close to me, like my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my father. A lot of people are entrepreneurs in their own, business industry, but I think I always had that spark within me to start a business. I actually found a video of myself 3 years ago when I quit all 3 of my jobs. And saying that I had 3 jobs at that point.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I had decided to just stop putting the effort in all other aspects and really dedicate myself to the fitness industry. And I think that's where like my life changed. I really honestly manifested the fact of opening this whole brand, because in that video I said maybe I could even open up my own gym in the future, and that was in 2018. And I never imagined, through COVID, of really like elaborating this whole entire thing. And that's really where it came from. It was just through COVID, I was like, I have to make something work, and that just happened. And I think that everybody reassuring me around me, like my mother, my aunt that, ran her own restaurant for so many years, were like, you've got this. You know what I mean? Like, you could do it. Like, it absolutely can happen. Don't think so much into it. I'm very blessed to have like a huge support system behind our whole brand. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
So since little. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then also the whole manifesting thing. So it's like not just like hard work and labor. You have spirit behind this. You have energy behind this, and with that, it's gonna help you grow even more.
Yeah, I think I always knew growing up that I wanted to be in a career that was going to be helping people. I was in the medical field for a while, and that really, changed my life. I was working with kids, and I was like so confused at one point, like I want to say around the age of 25, I was like, oh my God, where do I go with all of this that I wanted to do, like I was like, oh, maybe I can be a gym teacher. Like I even wanted to be a gym teacher at one point, like I was going to school for that. And then it was like, no, like once I started really, personal training, I was like, this is it. This is for me. Yeah, I was hooked. I was like, I can't believe that my hobby could turn into like my career, you know what I mean? And building all of this that I've built so far.
So 6 years now of consistency, and you said that you started in the back of your mom's house, right?
In the garage.
In the garage. You've had to, and also quitting 3 jobs.
Yeah.
You've had to overcome a lot of challenges, I would imagine.
Yeah.
What are some of those challenges, and what has been like the most like heartfelt that you're like, I can't believe I did that?
There's so many. There's so many, but I think the first challenge that we really, obviously was COVID. Then, was branching off into my own thing. While COVID was still happening, I took the chance and really started teaching through Zoom, and just building I couldn't believe the amount of people that were following me and that joined in on my Zoom classes, and I was like, holy cow, like I could really do this on my own, Once we got the chance of reopening up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to branch off on my own. The first challenge really was, we opened January 2021. I opened the doors with 13 clients in a 650 square foot garage in my mom's backyard, which literally did not look like what I turned it into, but I got someone to work on it, and I made it super nice and pretty, and all the LED lights, and it was just a whole vibe in there where we really started.
It was yours.
It was mine, right? Like I had built that. I was like, oh my God, this is an amazing space. It just worked so perfect. I think the first challenge that we ran into, I thought I was doing everything right. I was like, let me register the business. Let me, I even checked with people, I could do this out of my home, it's in-home personal training. Well, the township had a different plan for me. So they came and they shut us down. Well, they shut me down. I think in March
2 months.
Yeah,
after. Wow.
2 months after. The reason being is that zoning, it was we ran into that problem where it was residential zoning area only. It couldn't happen, and they worked with me, but they were literally like, sorry, I have to shut your business down. Like, you basically have too much of traffic in this residential zoning area. You can't run this type of business out of your home. So that was like my first challenge, and I literally went out and drove looking for a new place because they gave me 2 weeks, like, you have to move this thing. And I either had the choice of, okay, I'm gonna shut down and not continue, or I had the choice of really like going out and looking. I personally did not feel ready. Like, I was like, damn, like, it's only been 2 months. I haven't even like really, done anything. Established myself. And I'm driving, crying my eyes out, literally. The truth. Yeah, like crying. I'm like, how is this gonna happen to me? I can't believe it. And I'm driving, and I'm at a red light on Olden Avenue, and I look over and I find this big sign that says space release in a something I would have drove past any other time, but something told me, like, God told me, like, look over, and I literally looked over, and I pull up into the spot, and I call the number, and the landlord was actually inside of the space. And I was like, hi, I'm like interested in your spot. And he's like, yeah, when are you available to come? I'm like, I'm actually parked right in front of you. I think I'm actually looking at you as I'm speaking to you. And he was like, great, come in, come look at the space. So at first I was like, oh no, like, I don't see the vision in here, because I'm having to, it was like an office type of space, and it had some division, and I was like, oh man, how am I going to make this work? But then I was like, no, you know what? I was such in a time crunch that I really made the decision to do it. And I was like, let's just go for it. Like, it was, the rent was like right there. I could afford it. I knew that it was going to work out. And
so like the risk reward factor was just like precisely. And like, you were more pressed for that time than to see the like envision of it, but you still took that chance on yourself and your brand. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I felt like the gut feeling was like, just go for it. You're gonna make this work. You know what I mean? That was my gut feeling the whole time. And like, I always thought, like, no matter what, I'm gonna make this work. You know what I mean? No matter how I have to do it, I'm gonna make it work. So he let me move in by, like, I want to say 3 weeks later. We were able to put the place together. We really made it work for us. We split, even though there was a division in the room, we made it work. Like, it was like the turf side, the weight side, and it really worked. It was a 1,500 square foot location. And within, like, I think we opened in June 1st or something like that, like officially, and we had like, I had 70 clients. It was like insane. Like, the growth was like really impactful, and I was like, wow, I was like, I'm really gonna be able to do this.
So that solidified like your choice, your decision making and everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that just the clients that I have are like super, good to me. Like, I've never doubted the fact that people were gonna continue with me or continue to like trust in my, trust in what I was, giving to them. So I think that is like such a good quality that, that I'm blessed to have.
Yeah. And I mean, earlier speaking about like manifesting and positive energy and stuff, what you were giving out, you were also receiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a great way to not only express yourself but your brand.
Yeah.
So that's definitely amazing.
Yeah.
Now you're at this next spot.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like just yesterday you moved into this spot. So what has been like the growth, or kind of like your vision with this spot and moving forward?
So this spot is really what I originally, like, in my mind, if I didn't have to have moved from the garage to my first actual commercial location, this was my vision for Peach House. So that the fact that happened so fast, because we were at our first location for a year, and then our contract was like, 1 year, and then you can re-sign for 3 years. But when I was there, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna, with 70 clients, like I don't know if we're gonna be able to grow. And the landlord, like, you know, we were going to re-sign our lease, and I think it was like 100 days before we were gonna re-sign our lease. And he came and was like, I'm sorry, I can't re-sign your lease because you're growing way too fast.
Wow. The
landlord. And I was like, at first I'm like, wow, like I was shocked, you know, like, and I was kind of like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like I have to move another location in 90 days. I'm like, I wasn't prepared, you know, like I knew that we were growing, but he was like, I know that if I let you be here for another 3 years, like I'm either going to like withhold you from growing, you know, or you're, you know, it's not working. It's not gonna work for me and for you. You know what I mean? Like I shared our parking spaces with 2 other locations, and we, you know, it was just becoming like a lot. The growth was there, and I was like, okay, this is not a bad thing. Right?
Absolutely.
Like this is not a negative thing to have happen to you. But again, you know, I fully believe that God really was like, okay, girl, you're ready. Although I personally didn't feel ready, like I had so much doubt in my mind. I'm like, how am I gonna make this work? 90 days, we have to find a second location that's even bigger, because he's right. Like my landlord was right. We were growing so fast. You know, I had taken on 2 more trainers, and you know, they had their own clientele base, and I was like, how am I gonna make this happen? We saw so many places, and it just wasn't it. And this
and
place,
then also from, and I'm sorry to cut you off, okay. Also from like learning from your landlord, learning from your decision making in the past, and having all the support not only from families but from your clients. Like this is kind of like God's way or the universe's way of saying like, this is what you're meant to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like,
it was very reassuring.
So it was like, all right, now here it is. Now go get it.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you know, everything that has happened has really fallen in my lap, and it's been like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? Do you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, this space now, you know, it wasn't at first. Again, I did not see the vision. I was like, oh, how are we gonna make this work? You know, how are we gonna turn this into? But little by little, you know, again, I trusted my gut instinct, and I was like, this spot is perfect. Like, it's private. You know, it's hidden. It's like the perfect intimacy to, you know, because we are something so unique. We're all women's gym. I think that we needed that. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to get lost in that like plaza like type of, you know, feel. And because we do have like that warehouse, it's still pretty. You know what I mean? Like we glammed it up, but it still feels like rugged and like strong. You can really get your work done in here. And it's like, I love that concept of it, because that's what I really wanted to emerge. You know, I really wanted to, like, working out can look pretty. You know what I mean? You can still feel strong, beautiful, and all of those things together. It doesn't have to be like, you know, just rugged. It doesn't have to be just, you know, for the looks. You know what I mean? Like, it could be for both. Like, you know,
you're making sweating look good.
Yes, absolutely. Like, so I love the new mixture that we have brought to it. I think it's something that the girls that I have also like really enjoy, because, you know, they know that they walk in here and like it's time to work, but like they also feel super empowered by it.
They also gain that confidence coming in to take it out wherever they go.
Absolutely.
Wow. And since this place is new, where do you see you and your other trainers like going from here? Like, what are kind of like the next steps or the next vision you see?
So it's funny because everything has happened so fast, right? So like within the last 2 years we've moved. This is our second location, and bigger location. But like even, you know, like even thinking like a year from now, like I already see us like even being in a bigger location.
Wow.
You know, or maybe possibly opening up a second location. You know, like I just think that like our brand is so unique that we need a little bit more of it. You know, like if it's not a bigger location with something even, you know, a little bit more to offer, I think like a second location to just be more accessible to more women would be like the right thing for us. So I definitely, you know, envision us growing the team, you know what I mean? Like, I think that one thing that I've been super, what's it called, blessed to do is give other women, you know, the opportunity to be a trainer and to also, you know, like teach them the knowledge behind, you know, the health and fitness industry. Because it's something so important, especially as a woman. I think that, you know, I have 2 kids myself. You juggle so many hats, you know, you juggle so many jobs. Many of us like put ourselves in the back burner, you know, and it's like this is a priority for a lot of women, you know. They don't see it, but a lot of women are working out just for their mental state, you know, or for that 1 hour of dedication to themselves, because, you know, the 23 hours of their day are dedicated to everybody else. So it's like making sure that continues, you know, that to build our team to be able to have even, you know, maybe possibly more trainers, you know what I mean? So it's like I definitely see our brand, the business, growing a lot bigger than what it is.
Wow, that's amazing. So you definitely dream big. You follow your gut feeling. You have trust in others as well, right, which is very important, and you have all the support. So, man, we definitely took a lot today. Definitely learned a lot about you, your brand, and how you think and how you can help other people. What is the best way for people to reach out to you, get in contact with you?
I want to say Instagram is like the best way to find me. I'm very good at reaching out to people through Instagram, but anyway, I think that my number's even on like Google. Like, please, like, text me if you need something. But even to my clients, like, I'm very accessible. A lot of my clients have now become like, we're such a tight family, tight community. But through Instagram and Facebook, anyway, I'm really accessible. So even coming through our doors, I think is just such a great way. Like, we had someone come in a couple days ago, and, you know, she was from Bordentown, but she's like, I heard the music. You know, like, I heard Bad Bunny, and I like, and like, I needed to walk in here. I needed to see what this was, and you know, it's just, I want people to know, like, our doors are always open. Especially obviously for the ladies, but like, our doors are always open, and, you know, if you ever have any questions, or, you know, you want to train, like, more than welcome to just walk in here. I will definitely greet you with open arms. So
beautiful, awesome. I want to thank you for your time as well, for listening to this amazing interview. I am truly excited to have this experience with Stefani and to share her knowledge, her wisdom, and her energy, and looking forward to the next interview. Take it easy.
Thanks.